Hello, welcome to The Good Coach. My name is Ruchi Parekh, and I'm an executive life coach, an NLP practitioner, keynote speaker, an author, and a former lawyer. My podcast is driven to tell stories about professionals and executives and their journey, which led them to where they are today. My guest today is Dr. Mehek Kalra. She's an amazing dental surgeon who specializes in root canals in Singapore. So, guys, if you're looking for a tooth that needs root canaling, you know who to go to. She's also an even better mom of 3 adorable kids. Mehek, you're truly a superwoman and an inspiration to many. Welcome to my podcast.
Hi, Ruchi. Thank you for inviting me here. I'm really not sure how I can help the people who are listening. I'm here just to share a little bit of what my life looks like.
And it's such an inspiring life, Mehek. You won't even realize how you're going to inspire all those women out there who are running multiple roles, just hustling and juggling because it's not easy. And the fact that you do it with a smile on your face makes it absolutely amazing. So let's dive right into it. Something I'm sure my audience is wanting to know. You have 3 kids, a dental practice, a spouse. It must be exhausting. So what's your secret?
There is no secret. Like you said, it's not easy, and I have to agree. Having said that, having a routine and just having your life goals sorted out really helps. Um, I want to tell whoever's listening that I have an 8-year-old, and after many, many years, we had another one. So I have a 2-year-old and an 11th-month-old. I would say that the last 2 years since the little ones came along hasn't been easy. And I definitely struggled to find a balance, I would say physically and mentally. I think I'm finally at a good space now, and hence, probably can share a few tips that have helped me get here. Um, for me, what I realize is it's important to have time for everything in my life. So for work, definitely, because that's where I feel I'm at my best, my personal best and professional best. And also, I'm not satisfied till I've spent time with all 3 of my kids. And whatever time and energy remaining, my spouse gets.
But it must require some sort of, you said routine, but some discipline.
Yeah.
What is the discipline that how is it that you keep reminding yourself that no, I have to keep going?
Yeah. So I think I have to highlight that there are certain things that have helped me. And however cliche it may sound, I think having a loving, supporting, and an understanding husband is one of the most important things. Somebody who understands the demands and somebody who, helps you sort of cope with that. Secondly, I would say you have to have very good help on the ground. I think since my little kids came along, I have actually, for example, completely stopped doing stuff like groceries. I've completely stopped cooking and things like that. So I have prioritized my time for work and kids and my husband and family when they visit. And I also can't stress the importance of having grandparents around. So whenever possible, I try and tell my parents and my in-laws that be there, and that has really helped us, I think.
Let's tell our audience that Mehek's parents, neither parents nor in-laws live in the same country as well. So this is when she says get the support of parents. It's not that they're around
Every day.
fly over from a different country to come and help. But those moments and those times, I think, are so important.
Yes. And I think post-COVID, we realized that even more. So every few months, we are sort of, having them come on a flight and stay with us. And that's been very, very, very enriching and nurturing for not just us, but, the kids and everybody together. So that's really helped us through these last 2 years, I would say. And last but not the least, I think I've surrounded myself with amazing friends like Ruchi. And, it's very important to have that support system where you have friends who have kids the same age, and, who you can completely be yourself with. And you know how much I rely on you to just take care of me many days and, also my kids. So,
No,
yeah.
it's so true. I think you've highlighted something that as working women, as career oriented moms, we forget to ask for help, forget to ask for support because we're always trying to be super women. But just because we're super women, which I believe you already are, it's okay to put your hand up and say, I need support because I want to focus, I want to prioritize. And I think that's what you've done beautifully. It's commendable, and the nuggets that you shared, I think, guys, we need to understand it's a team effort. Like they said, it
Indeed.
takes a village. Mehek does not have a village here, but she's managed with everything that she can, manage to get into her life, to pull, to prioritize, to be disciplined, to have a routine. So
Yeah.
that's, I think, the secret to being a working mom, a mom of three, running a dental practice, and also having a social life, because good physical, mental, and social health is the key to confidence, to happiness, to success. And I'm sure that's what we're all hoping for. But tell me something. And go on, go on.
Just one thing I want to add, something I never felt when I just had my son. I had him alone for 6 years, but again, since the little ones have come along, I have been wanting to stress that it's so important to get time for yourself and guilt-free time, I would say. So that's something that I've been also doing now. And I'll share maybe in my next, how where I describe my routine, where I kind of get those snippets of time just for myself with no one around, no work, no kids, and, things like that. So I think it's very important to also.
Self-care is because you
Absolutely.
can't pour from an empty cup. So please share with us how you manage that self-care, the time for yourself, because it keeps you sane, I'm sure.
Yeah. So I am a highly disciplined person, and I actually thrive on routine. And it also, I think, gives sanity to my otherwise, crazy life. So I'm a morning person, so my alarm's set for like 6:15 in the morning. My son's school starts early. He's in local school, so it starts at 7:30. I am the one usually who drops him to school. I drive him the drive 25 minutes, and that is the alone time I get with him. So I look at it like that. I try and chat with him. I ask him about school and send him off. I'm usually back home at about 8. That's when my daughter starts getting ready for preschool. 8:45, I drop her to school. 9 a.m., I'm at work.
Wow.
And no superwoman.
Such a busy
9, busy morning, very busy morning. And 9 to about 1 o'clock, I work 6 days a week. And I'm back home by about 2 o'clock, which is when my son comes back from school. So I'm very lucky that I have a practice, or I have, a career that allows me to work, so to speak, part-time. So I really think because of that, I'm able to enjoy and straddle the best of both worlds. So I'm back home at 2, and from about 2 o'clock till 5 o'clock is my time with the kids. And anywhere from 1 hour to 2.5 hours, I'm in a playroom, one of the rooms that has, a lot of toys. I'm with mostly all three of them as soon as their naps. And that is where, I bond with them. I, make sure they're okay. And I think that's where I get my sort of, soul time with them, which is so important to me.
managed, because we all want to have it all, and you are truly having it all. Having it all does not mean giving your 100% to every role. You are giving the percentage of yourself to every role that suits you and suits your family, which is the beauty of it.
Yeah. So this time when I'm with them, they are spending time with each other as well, and I think that's helped to develop a bond, even though the age groups are quite varied. And this is the time where I don't want my helper around. I don't want anybody around unless, it's an emergency or a calamity. And till about 5 o'clock, I have them. Then 5 o'clock onwards, I usually want them to have some outdoor time. So my older one will have a class or something. My little ones will go down to play. And from about 5 to 7 o'clock is where it's me time. So I could probably take a nap. I can knock off any time.
And morning I started
I
early.
run errands, yeah, or I just, clean my cupboard or do something that I want to do or needs to be done. So till about 7 is that. 7 to 9 is, dinner time and bedtime. And then 9 o'clock onwards is, time with my husband. So we usually have a glass of wine, watch TV, and then probably sleep by about 11. So that's my routine. Anything that breaks the routine, it actually makes me anxious. I have to work on that. If a friend invites me for lunch or something, I really have to step out of my comfort zone and say, okay, I'm going to do this today differently than my routine. So
Which is
that's what I like.
are going to keep coming and be thrown your way to, break that routine, to spoil the perfectly planned day. But that's the beauty of life, that
Amazing also. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
exactly you're getting to manage to enjoy every aspect, which is
Yeah.
so commendable. And I'm sure you've been asked this so many times. As a dentist, Meg, do you enjoy sweets yourself? So,
Nobody asks that actually, but it's a good question. I actually I don't like sweets, believe it or not. I never have as a kid, and I don't know when my kids gravitate towards sweet. I'm like, why is it this craziness with Meeta? My guilty pleasure has always been things like chips and fried food and all the chatpata stuff. Having said that, lately I have started enjoying dark chocolate and any dessert to do with chocolate, I think.
and it's actually good for you. Dark chocolate is supposed to be very good for us. So I think
Not too bad.
it's good.
Yeah.
It's not a
It's
guilty pleasure that's so bad.
not too
It's
bad. Yeah.
Tell me, as a working mom, it's so sad, but we've always had to face comments, unsolicited suggestions, advice. Do you face that, especially that you have such a busy life, or has there been an evolution in our day and age of how working women are treated? What would you say is your and a response to when people see you or meet you, maybe at the workplace?
This question actually took me by surprise. I think I'm very lucky, like I said, to be able to do sort of part-time work or as many hours that I want to do without actually feeling that I'm taking a step back or a step down. And I think I've always been surrounded by working people, professionally and I don't know, personally as well. Most of my friends work and so on. So I think what I want to say is that I think your children respect and understand that as a mom, you have to work. And I think that is what I feel your validation should come from. And I don't think I would be affected by anybody else saying anything else. I don't know. So,
Shows your internal strength, which shows your internal confidence in your faith, in your beliefs, in your value system, and the way you run your life, which is a great example for your children, because they learn from not only your words but your actions, and the actions itself are the strongest factor in how they are going to start running their lives. How beautiful.
and of course, there are questions. My son asked me, why do you have to work and can't you work less and all that? And I think being honest and truthful with them is the easiest way. And I think they completely understand. They might have a mini tantrum sometimes, but it's nothing that has to change anything on the ground, really.
Honestly, always the first policy, and that should be the best way of treating and talking to children, because they will learn what you share with them. Tell me, who has been biggest impact in your life? Who has made you who you are, this amazing person?
amazing person. I don't know. I think my father's been the most important, influential person, I would say, in my life. He's a dentist, and as a child, he would drag me to the clinic, and I would love, mixing cements for him, mixing all the material for him, talking to patients, learning everything from him. And I think becoming a dentist was just, I mean, it's so natural. Absolutely. I cannot imagine myself being anything else. And I think when I look back or I think back, it comes from him. So I think he's the most influential, amazing man in my life.
So lovely. So you started off so young. It was the natural progression. You could
Yeah,
not have been anything else.
absolutely.
Do you think that is your superpower, being that innate dentist, or do you have any other? What are your superpowers, Ben? Share with us.
I don't have any superpowers. I wish I did. I wish I could create more time in the day. I wish I could, I don't know, infuse more energy in me. I do get tired. I am 40. So I wish I could do all these things. I could spend more time with my parents. There's so many things that one wishes, but I think it's also important to have gratitude. I think it's taken me a while to be practicing in Singapore. That's been a journey on its own. And I think every time I think I'm, very tired or, I'm struggling to go to work, which also happens once in a while, I do have to remind myself about how grateful I am to be here versus other people who haven't made it. So, very important to remember that, I think.
An attitude of gratitude can be.
Same thing with children. Yeah. Same thing with children. Yeah, absolutely.
What about what would you say? How does it help?
No, I just see so many people struggling to have children now and, to have healthy, happy, so many children who make everything worth it is also something to remember and to feel happy about. So,
It makes your world so complete. How beautiful. Thank you, Parekh. But tell me, is this the life you imagined? Is this what you, as a young girl, how close are you? How close is your reality to the dreams you had as a young girl?
so I think, I don't know, being a Capricorn, I've always been very grounded and practical. That's what my father's always told me. So I never had these dreams really. I never dreamt of a big wedding or, any of this. So I think I'm very close to being happy. I
Amazing.
am very happy. And I think that would be probably my dream. So I think I am, like I said, I have a beautiful family. I have a loving husband and I have work that I love. And I think that should be anybody's dream.
Yes, yes, it is. It should be. And but many people don't realize it, don't value it. And the fact that you're valuing it, you're focusing on all this abundance just means that you're going to pull in more, which is the way we should. That is why it's so inspiring to see you, because it is how you run your life. That is an example for many who are struggling despite the abundances in their life. When we forget what we have and only focus on what we don't have, we miss this beautiful life that has been gifted to us. So if you could give some advice or say something to your 18-year-old self, what would it be? What are the life lessons, the beautiful lessons that your life has taught you?
I think I've always taken life very seriously. So I would tell my younger self not to take life seriously at all. Things change, plans change. I never imagined I'm going to be in Singapore, so never take life seriously. Never be very fixated on one idea. Be adaptable. And the second thing I think I would tell my 18-year-old self would be not to care about what people say. I think as a society, we are trained to be pleasing. And I think that should be done in balance. So I think don't take everybody's advice, don't take everybody seriously, and don't really care about what people say. Do what you have to do. I
Such
think.
a golden nugget you have shared here, Mehek, because I think as a society, as a generation, we are so worried about what someone will say, what impact someone's words have on us. It makes us change the way we run our lives. It makes us run our lives based on the external environment and the people in it. But ultimately, as long as you're not doing anything wrong, you're being your true self, I don't think it should matter running your life the way you want to, because that's at the end of the day, you are the most important person.
Yeah.
And someone else's view, someone else's judgment can just ruin everything for us.
And I think after a certain age, I think I would say about 35, this really starts to kick in. And I think my younger self would benefit from this advice. Yeah.
As I think the audience listening in is benefiting. For those of you who are young today, remember, as long as you are not doing anything wrong, follow your own footsteps. Definitely listen in to some elders in your life, but basing life's judgments and decisions on other people's views and values may not be the right way to move ahead. My last question, Meg, last for you today. Thank you so much. Do you think confidence has a role to play in your life? What do you think one needs to get that confidence out, and this help serve you better? Because many a times, lack of self-confidence, lack of self-esteem just makes us sway in life like a pendulum from one way to another without moving any way forward. What are your thoughts on that?
So I think instead of the word confidence, for myself, at least, I would like to use the word self-belief. And again, I come back to the same thing. When I said, you have to really believe in what you are doing. And okay, we're going to do this again.
So, Mehek, my last question for you today, and thank you again for sharing such amazing value with our audience today. I'm sure everyone's waiting to start, doing the things you have shared with us and how you're running your life. Tell me, do you think confidence has a role to play? And what difference has it made to you and the way you have run your life? How has it served you?
So Ruchi, I think for myself, instead of the word confidence, I would say self-belief. I think I've always been very determined. And thinking back, I think I've been like that since I was very young. But now it's even more pronounced. I have always been very determined in whatever I set out to do. And that has sort of always led me to achieve what I set out to achieve. Just a small example of that, and one of the turning points in my life. It was this exam that came in front of me when I was already a mother to my son, and I had to sit for this. It's called the qualifying exam with maybe 22-year-olds, and it took 2 years, and it's a 3-part exam, and till then no Indian had ever cleared this exam. But I knew that I had to give it my best, and to be just be answerable to myself later on, that at least I did my best, even though I didn't make it or I made it. And for 2 years I put my head down. I made sure my son was taken care of and I gave him enough attention. But the rest of the time, I just put my head down, and I worked and I worked and I worked. And finally, I made it. And my career depended on it. And I knew that it was, a make or break time. So I think if you're determined, if you are, confident in what you set out to do, it will help.
And
It will take you places.
you were the first to clear this exam in Singapore.
Yes.
That
So it was a big thing. And of course, there have been people after me, but yeah, it was a very small possibility. But the self-determination, confidence, whatever you want to call it, really, I think, was the only thing going for me. And it took me 2 years. So I had to drag it till then.
diligence and perseverance, right?
That's, yeah, it definitely pays off.
So awe-inspiring too. And you are not 22. You had a child, and you were a mom managing your house, trying to get this exam. So self-belief. And I'm just going to reiterate a few of the amazingly golden nuggets shared by Mehek today. That is the secret to her abundant, beautiful life. Discipline, having a routine, prioritizing things, making sure each aspect of a life is given that bit of priority without neglecting yourself. I think that's also something Mehek really, really focuses on is self-care. And finally, self-belief, that faith that you can do it. When you put your head down, do the hard work, success has to come from it.
Absolutely.
Any
And
last, any last parting words for us?
I think you've concluded it amazingly well. And seriously, having good friends, people who love you, surrounded by positivity, I think is also so important because life can get chaotic. And I always, I always consciously only want to be with people who give me positivity. So that's also something my 40-year-old self has learned recently.
Like attracts like. So you give out that positivity and you pull it back to you. So amazing. Thank you again, Mehek, for
Thank you, Ruchi. Thank you for having me.
and gracing the good coach and sharing such amazing value. Thank you, Mehek.
But